included. She didn't remember it. 25 years before, we'd get this one friend of ours high and passive-aggressively imprison her. She'd crash on the couch. Every morning, we'd beg her to stay. She'd moved to Cleveland, had a kid, got a degree as a speech therapist. She discovered that special ed kids loved Biggie Smalls and knock-knock jokes. She came to a gig at the Beachland. I told her the stories that Blank and I had traded, how funny it was that we remembered completely different ones. She didn't remember any of them. I was shocked that you didn't mention the time when X did Y at the Z, she said. I didn't remember that. Absolutely new. In 1963, John Cage organized a performance of Eric Satie's Vexations. The written score covers just half a page. Satie meant for it to be repeated 840 times. Above the piece, Satie wrote, "It would be advisable to prepare oneself beforehand in the deepest silence by serious immobilities." The performance, in a disused vaudeville theater, took 18 hours, played by a rotating crew of 10 pianists, among them John Cale, who would later co-found the Velvet Underground, and the choreographer Viola Farber. Tickets were $5. Only one person watched the entire performance. When it was over, somebody yelled, "Encore!" Afterward, Cage drove to his house outside the city. He slept 12 hours. "When I got up, the world looked new," Cage wrote later. Absolutely new. Hole, 2002. My friend Pat Dillett, the record producer, had a spare ticket for an early evening benefit. Ray Charles was playing at the Museum of Natural History. This was a few years before the Jamie Foxx movie and the reverence at the end of Ray's life. Pat's wife was the museum's lawyer, counsel for the bones. I met Pat outside the planetarium. He told me that when he met his wife for lunch on a weekday, she'd ask incredulously who these people were, walking around the world, not at work. They were us. Chevy Chase was at the reception. Pat said, "Why is Chevy Chase here?" We were 10 feet from him. It's a weird thing to say when you're standing 10 feet from somebody. Chevy Chase made a speech about how the celebrated Saturday Night Live Landshark sketch was written at the museum in the late 1970s. Young people have taken LSD at the Museum of Natural History since LSD was invented. Not that Chevy was explicit. In the auditorium, 3 men in tuxedos came on stage. They doodled instrumentals. 2 had mullets. The guitars looked like the acrylic-painted instruments in a Sears catalog circa 1988. A hype man led Ray out. He'd done this hundreds of times. He seemed to be operating at half power. "You are about to be entertained by the genius, Ray Charles," he said. He listed awards and million sellers and seated Ray at a keyboard. The trio jumped into a smooth jazz replica of Hit the Road Jack. Ray had a scowl of impatience, maybe scanning for his entrance. Then his right hand went bink on a key. A cheesy bell sound, the ideal of the digital piano. I remember Pat and me turning to each other in dread, but that can't be. It was milliseconds before the next note. Ray rocked the hell out of that cheesy sound. Every phrase was shocking, then inevitable. The music stretched time, which transformed into space. There wasn't a sense of, oh, here's a guy messing around with structures. It was contemplative, in the sense that implies interiority. He played What I Say, but didn't bother to sing. A cloudy exploration rolled off the stage, arrhythmic and eerie. The band looking exactly like they were playing a cocktail function. Ray in supernatural speculation, but somehow looking like he wasn't working that hard. The chords parted. From nowhere, Ray sang The Whole Day Through. Georgia on My Mind from nothingness. Ray sang from then on, the songs but not the songs. He held his wrist to his ear and frowned. I thought, how poetic, listening to his watch tick. Then I realized Ray's blind.